Specifically, what do you propose cutting in the present expenditures in state government?
There are three primary ways the state budget is spent. It's spent on general government, it's spent on Medicaid, and it's spent on education. In order to get to the point of cutting taxes, first we need to get the budget under control. All three of those areas need to be viewed critically, and all three of them need to participate in reduction in expenditures. In particular, in the government services area, which are sort of your basic services, we have had a hiring freeze. I would continue that, and I would enforce that. There are many exceptions being made to that. That is also where the political appointments are coming out of. I would eliminate those political appointments. They would be greatly reduced down to the pre-Richardson era, which were the number of appointments under Gary Johnson, which are actually what's needed for efficient, effective government. In the Medicaid area, we will have to look at both eligibility and benefits, because we cannot allow that to continue to grow. And in the education area, I would look at administrative costs and overhead and efficiency in a way that does not affect the classroom and the teachers. Thank you.
Ms. Jones, your turn.
I have to fix you right away, and I'm sorry, but I have to explain. My last name is Arnold Jones, and I'm happy to explain why, but I don't want to take time. So, but I'm compelled to correct everybody.
And please accept my apology for that. I, of all people, have a wife who has a hyphenated name, so I should know that. So please accept my apology.
She'll beat you with the noodle tonight. So. Anyway, since I just came back from the special session, this question is especially irritating, because the first thing you need to understand about Santa Fe is that they believe that there is no relationship between revenue, that's how much money you take in, and the budget. And so the fact that we only can identify $4.7 billion in revenue, it's okay to have a budget of $5.374 billion. I personally have a problem with that kind of budgeting. In fact, I don't know what that is. It's not budgeting. So the first thing we need to do is to actually make that cerebral, intellectual change in how we approach things. Now, we have jobs that are going vacant. We can pull them back immediately. There are so many places in state government that we can streamline, make it more effective. But you have to truly start with some priorities. You have to know what's important to you. And so I'm going to guess what's important to you is roads, safety, education, Medicare, Medicaid. These are things that we have to do. Nice to have, we can't afford the nice to haves. We have boards and commissions coming out of our ears that are observe and report boards that may have anywhere from 5 to 7 employees on it. Why are we doing that? There are so many ways, and I have to tell you, and I know Representative Cook is here, but we try to even approach wiping out the vacancies, and right now they don't even want to hear it. What if we started there?
Mrs. Arnold Jones, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Alan Way, you're next, sir.
Thank you. Folks, you know, they make it complicated in Santa Fe. It's not that complicated. We're going to take the money we make, and we're only going to spend the money that we take in. Now, I've got it, I'll give you just a conceptual overview. And by the way, coming from a business background, this is something I'm very comfortable with, and I try to explain it in simple terms, but I could throw in business terms like zero-based budgeting and things like that that would apply when you get into the nitty-gritty of fixing things. But more to the point, we have essential government services and we have non-essential government services. And everything is on the table, because you can't convince me that in $3.3 billion spent on education, which takes most of the state's budget, that there isn't waste, abuse, and unnecessary expenditures in there, because there is. Just like there is in the entire state budget. We're going to find the waste, we're going to find the abuse, and we're going to find the unnecessary. And unnecessary, there's a lot of unnecessary up there too. And we're going to be in a declining income situation for the next 2 years till we can turn this economy around. So the next governor's got to deal with less money next year than they got this year. That's a fact. So we're going to essentially divide it up into nice to have and need to have. And the nice to have is going to get funded at 100%. And the need to have is going to get funded at 100%, correct me. And the nice to have gets what's left over. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Martinez.
One of the first things that we have to do is first understand what the reality of our budget is. Our state budget, unfortunately, not even the legislators are told the truth. We don't know the reality of our budget. And that is going to be the very first thing as your next governor during the transition period, which runs from the day after you're elected through the day that you are sworn in, is to find out what that budget truly is so that the people from New Mexico understand how bad it really is. If we don't know, they won't tell us. We have got to make sure to reduce the size of government. Those exempt positions have got to go. We have got to cut back and have every single one of them reduced to nothing and hire only the necessary and experienced individual for the cabinet positions. We have grown from 170 exempt positions to almost 500 positions, some of which run agencies that don't even exist, such as the Film Museum. Doesn't even exist. I would like to also make sure to increase our revenues. Our revenues have got to be increased, and that includes our energy-rich state. We've got to remove the regulations. We've got to make sure that if those are not scientifically based, if those regulations do not fit science for us to impose them, then they must be removed immediately. That includes the pit rule. I'm on record since September that I would do exactly that, is remove the pit rule, the latest pit rule, which is actually Amendment 17, and have it removed so that we can regenerate our revenues from our oil and gas and our energy-rich state. It's important. Small government, big economy. That's the only way we get our state back on track.
Thank you. Question number 2, Janice Arnold-Jones, you will start this round. Do you think it is the function of government to create jobs, or is it the function of government to create an environment where the private sector can create jobs? Please explain your position.